Well, hello, folks. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome back to the channel. Was just on the Altar View. I believe that's the name of the show. I'm sorry for getting it wrong, but that'll be up. The video will be up anytime, and yesterday's video from the Vinnie Eastwood show will be up anytime. So lots of chances to see what we're doing. Lots of chances for going, lots of chances for growing. We just completed a really good video. It's one that I'm glad I did. It was about Bill Cooper, Fiend, Hero, or In Between. And I think you want to check that out. It is here on the channel. And having always been a fan of science fiction, having grown up with Captain Kirk as my role model, which is a very good thing. I should do a show on Captain Kirk as a role model. But I've always been interested in UFOs. And it's interesting that my entrance into this genre, and I guess I should people have asked do a video about myself and my background, and that just sounds so boring to me, but I do get asked to do it, so maybe I should do a video about my background. Hate to do it. It sounds pompous. It sounds, to me, egotistical, self-serving, but, you know, if it's something that people want to know, well, I should probably go ahead and do that for you. But my interest into this genre, the way I got into this was, it's funny, the way I get into most things that I don't really want to get into and end up being very passionate about. I was living here in Clearwater, Florida. I was actually in Bel Air Bluffs, Florida. This was must have been 7 years ago. I'd say 7 or 8 years ago. And my daughter and son were living with me. And my daughter don't think had a job. My son is kind of an insomniac. So they would sit up all night long and listen to Coast AM. And we're on the East Coast in Florida. So you're talking about it starts at 1 and I think ends at 5. So they're up all night long. And they'd be sleeping on the couch. And I'd go out there and holler at them, what are you dummies doing? And they'd say, oh, Coast to Coast, you got to listen. What's Coast to Coast? Well, aliens and mantis people, and I'm like, oh, come on. And they convinced me to watch Ancient Aliens with them. I called it Ancient Idiots. The first person I saw was Giorgio with his hairdo, which I got maybe the Giorgio starter set going right here. And I thought, this is just the most stupid thing I've ever heard. But lo and behold, 7 years later, I'm on Coast to Coast, and we're doing this video about UFO religions. So it's always been something that's been of interest to me. And there are so many interesting people out there. And I almost said weirdos, but I didn't. Because you know what, folks? For me, or for you that's watching this, to call somebody a weirdo, in the South we call that kettle calling. That's the kettle calling the pot black, or the pot calling the kettle black. Because look around you. Compared to everybody else, who's the weirdo? You're the weirdo. I'm the weirdo. And there is no shortage of people you know, there is a shortage of weirdos, isn't there? There's not enough of us. So this goes out to all the weirdos. And this is actually very interesting stuff. And it's so interesting that it has its own UFO religion Wikipedia page. And people talk about Wikipedia this, Wikipedia that. It's like the Encyclopedia Britannica was. It's a source. You have to look, and you have to read, and you have to do objective scholarship. Like earlier, the Bill Cooper video that I did, I looked at his Wikipedia page, and I looked and found some other information. So it's a resource. So do I mind using it? No, not at all. Do I think it's reliable? Yep. Do I think it's a good? Yep, it's a good tool for research. So here we go. A UFO religion is any religion in which the existence of ETs operating UFOs are an element of belief. And that brings up some interesting implications all of its own. You could almost say that we in the paranormal movement Almost our UFO religion. Don't we all believe in the existence of ETs? Now, we may have, and we do have, some very strong differences of belief on exactly what those ETs are. Are they interdimensional beings? Are they beings from another star system? Are they beings that come out of the center of the earth? Are they beings that are really us, but they're from the future and they're traveling back in time? Are they demons? Are they, as Rex Bear would say, swamp gas, manifestations of swamp gas from Uranus? I don't know. What are they? But most of us believe in them. I believe in them. I believe in what we are calling extraterrestrial entities. Literally defined, extraterrestrial means from outside this earth. And if you believe in the Bible, it says in the beginning, the gods created the heaven and the earth. Those gods came from somewhere. Where did those gods come from? I'll wait. The answer is we really don't know. But it's interesting that the Hebrew Scriptures, aka the Old Testament, do list 7 extraterrestrial locations. Expressly list 7 extraterrestrial locations. Somebody's going to ask me to name them. Well, I talked about them on Coast to Coast on the 4th. I've done another video of them. And I can't remember them all. I just can't. Venus is one. Saturn is one. The Draco system. The Pleiades. Ursula Major. And there's 2 more. Venus, Saturn. There's 2 more that slipped my mind right now. But there's 7 locations, extraterrestrial locations mentioned in Scripture, and tradition says that there's 7 Elohim. How interesting is that? Is it possible that one Elohim from each of those 7 locations, Orion, I believe, was one of the other ones, the constellation of Orion? Could it be? Could it be that there's but at any rate, we do believe in extraterrestrials. I believe in extraterrestrials. Do we believe they operate unidentified flying objects? Well, we do believe in unidentified flying objects. We've seen unidentified flying objects. Now, whether they are astral projections, whether they are actual craft, whether they are U.S. or terrestrial military craft that are secret, whether they are interdimensional energetic emanations that look like crafts, but loosely defined, we could all be classified as members of a UFO religion. How does that make you feel? What do you think about that possibility? Because strictly defined, do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials? Yes. Do you believe in unidentified flying objects? Yes. Of course, we're not a religion, and it'd be interesting to see how Wikipedia defines religion. It's a philosophical set of beliefs about the meaning of existence. And you know what? Even then, that makes us sound even more like a religion, because we do have a philosophical set of beliefs about the meaning of existence with a lot of differentiation in between that is based on the belief of extraterrestrial beings that are operating unidentified flying objects. Wow. Now, typically, such religions believe the ETs to be interested in the welfare of humanity, which already is or eventually will become part of a pre-existing ET civilization. And that's very interesting, because this is where we really come to a divide. You've got the one class of people, and I guess the UFO religion type people share a common belief that ETs are benevolent, that ETs are here to help, at least some of them. I almost go on the Stephen Hawking school of thought that if there are beings from other planets that are interested enough to get to this place and advanced enough to get to this place, we probably are not going to have a good result with them being here. They're probably going to come, they come here to chew bubble gum and kick butt, and they're all out of bubble gum. So I don't know that, I just don't have that warm, fuzzy feeling about ETs being interested in the welfare of humanity. What do you think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section, but is it my religious background, my Christian background, that makes me think, I don't know, these things, I don't know if they're that nice to us. It just, to me, I have a difficult time really believing that these ETs would be interested in our welfare. And I guess one of the reasons why I have the difficulty believing they'd be interested in our welfare is because they typically seem to be wanting our worship? They haven't really given us anything to empower us individually. They're still, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking with, maybe I'm just spurting swamp gas from you know where, but it just, to me, it doesn't feel, my blink doesn't say, oh yes, the ETs are here just to help us. Now, to that second part, were we part of a pre-existing ET civilization, or will we become part of an ET civilization? That's fascinating too. And even, I'm the Christian whistleblower, and even if you look at it just from a strictly biblical point of view, the Elohim came from somewhere, cousin. They came from somewhere. And if they came from somewhere that wasn't here, then that is, by very definition, extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial. So we do believe, I believe, I guess, that we are at least partially part of a pre-existing ET civilization. If we were started by people that are part of a previously existing extraterrestrial civilization, which by definition the gods were, and even if you believe in the one God, even if you believe in that one God, then he came from somewhere. Where'd he come from? He was not from Earth, so he was by definition an extraterrestrial. Where'd he come from? Very, very interesting thoughts. Very, very interesting thoughts to ponder. Others may incorporate ETs into a supernatural worldview, in which the UFOs occupants are more akin to angels than physical aliens. This distinction may be blurred within the overall subculture. And that's what we were just talking about, because there's a lot of people, I mean, you people, remember Ross Perot going to the NAACP and saying, now you people, that didn't help him get many votes, I don't think. But people that are of the traditional Christian mindset will almost universally say that ETs are demons. And I think people that are love and light, oh, it's so wonderful, they tend to think that ETs are just about angels. And I would say that it's probably close to 50-50. I mean, what do you think? If people that say it's physical aliens from another universe versus people that say it's demonic or it's interdimensional, I'd say it's close to 50-50. And a lot of these religions have their roots in early science fiction, weird fiction, ufology, UFO sightings, and alien abductions. And I got to tell you, that alien abductions, that's another one that I haven't really been totally in on. I haven't been totally sold on the whole alien abduction thing. in the way that it is commonly reported. I don't think that I'm sold on the fact that aliens travel from the backside of Alpha Centauri to come pick up my next door neighbor and give him an enema on a spacecraft and sit him back down with a chip in his pinky toe. I have a hard time with that. It's just like, I forget who I was listening to that said that these guys traveled from the backside of Alpha Centauri, made it all the way to Earth, and then their ship broke down and they crashed in Roswell. I mean, it almost like, come on, man, really? But alien abduction, those stories come from something. There is some type of activity going on, and to me, I think that you're really talking more about a astral phenomenon. And I think that with that great introduction, I want to show you something that comes out of my book, Final Message of the Last Apostle. And I don't know if I dare just try to do this cold, or no, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull that book up. And I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We're talking about out of this world UFO religions, and get yourself ready because there's a lot more to come. Now this is really good stuff. You're really going to like this. I think you're going to be very impressed with this information. I think you're going to be very happy with this information. And I'm going to be very happy when my lights get here tomorrow, because somebody gave me a nice donation, and I'm having a big kickoff tomorrow for some stuff. And somebody gave me a nice donation, and I bought some lights. So we're going to have we're going to be able to make, because I'm going back into my polyphasic sleeping, so I'm not going to be sleeping but 5-6 hours a day. So we're going to have a lot of time to be making some videos, folks, and that's what this whole thing is about, is having time to make videos and having time to do good stuff, and that's not helping me. So, but I just thank this person, and I can't remember exactly. I remember who it was, but I don't know if they want me to say their name, so I won't say their name. But thank you for it anyway, and I'm putting it right to use. So that's what I do. When you give me money to, I don't live off of it. I don't buy groceries. I don't buy vodka. I buy something for the program. And we want to get in that RV. We want to get out on the road. We want to start moving and grooving and doing some great stuff for you. So speaking of great stuff for you, you're going to like this. You're going to appreciate this. This is going to resonate with you, because this really is a great discovery. Even though I discovered it, well, it's a sorry dog that won't wag his own tail every now and then. Now, can the apocalypse described, and I'm reading from Final Message of the Last Apostle, can the apocalypse as described in Revelation literally happen? Can it literally happen? I say no, and the reason I say no is because the Bible, the totality of the Bible, doesn't teach a God or gods that have the type of character that would destroy the earth that they created and slaughter the people that they created. I know that's really at the core of the Christian Whistleblower message. If you believe in a God, and he's been there throughout the whole Old Testament, that kills baby, kills boys, kills girls, kills pregnant women, kills men, kills women, destroys whole cities, kills billions of animals, says he's jealous, says he's wrathful, says he's vengeful, says he's full of rage. If that's your kind of God, then I'm not your kind of person. And how can you reconcile that kind of a God with God is love? Because that kind of a God, cousin, he ain't love. But the first rule of God Club is we don't talk about God Club. Because if we start talking about God Club, we realize that God is a jealous, wrathful, evil, nasty, murderous, bloodthirsty rat bastard. So we can't talk about God Club. You see what I did with that? Inglourious Bastards, Brad Pitt, Fight Club. That's a nice little tie-in. But anyway, I'm convinced that the Bible doesn't teach that kind of a God, and I refuse to believe that the true divine will ever rain down fire on planet Earth. But that doesn't preclude an imposter God attempting to do so. And that's what that rat bastard, Yahweh Jehovah, Yaldabaoth, Marduk, rat bastard, thinks he's going to be able to do. And that's why I'm doing what I do. That's what drives me. What drives me is the distinct possibility that I will be able to prevent him from carrying out this false flag. And how can I prevent him by carrying out this prevent him from carrying out this false flag? I can prevent him from carrying out this false flag by getting this information out to you. And if enough of you and if enough of us get this information, then we will be able to, he won't be able to perpetrate that false flag because too many people will know about it. The Elohim prevented the Lord from destroying the earth actually after the Noahic flood a second time. I would expect him to do the same to any future attempt, but how far he could get is an open question. The true gods won't destroy the earth, and the Lord can't destroy the earth because I don't believe the Elohim would allow it to happen. Now, could a group of hostile aliens destroy the earth? You know, Stephen Hawking, he had a TV program called Into the Universe with Stephen Hawking. He said that any advanced aliens that could get to us would be looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they could reach. Now, if there were aliens that could reach Earth, they'd certainly probably be capable of carrying out a Revelation-style devastation on their own. So, well, Jeff, you know, those aliens could come and they could act like, you know, they're the ones of Revelation doing what they do. But my question is, why the hell would they? You know, Dr. Hawking is smarter than I am, and he says that they're just looking to conquer and colonize. So why in the world would they have any interest in conforming their activities within our silly, foolish, stupid, idiotic religious imagery, speaking from their point of view, not mine? Why would they bother? Why would they take the time to learn our religious imagery if their only aim is to conquer? So gods won't do it. The Lord can't do it. Aliens wouldn't bother to do it. So an invasion by hostile alien forces is not what is in view in the book of Revelation. So what is? Well, it's either the Lord commandeering a fleet of craft that are produced by terrestrial means in a secret space agency type of thing, or it is the Lord somehow marshaling an alliance with some type of alien beings elsewhere, which I don't think he's going to be able to do, or it's the Lord using holographic technology to make it look like he's got a fleet of aliens backing him up. Or how about this? AHT, Astral Holographic Technology. This is something that I came up with. And the reason I came up with it is I've done a lot of study in the Gnostic text. And the Gnostic writings suggest that, you know, to make it overly simplistic, that aliens, they're allergic to oxygen. They can't physically survive in Earth's atmosphere. And I have a great friend named Dr. Andy Toltec. He's still a shaman. He was working in Mexico. He had to go back to his native England, and I think that he may be in a place where we can start talking again. And I'd love to. We need to get back and start doing our shows together again. He's a shaman. He's not a Gnostic, but he also asserts that what people identify as aliens aren't able to enter our realm physically. He's a PhD psychiatrist. He's a respected shaman, and what he says is that what Dr. Toltec says is that the appearances and abductions that we see all around us could not be possible if aliens can't enter our realm. And he's been more than willing to tell me how they do it. He asserts that aliens don't enter our realm to abduct. They only make it seem like they're entering our realm to abduct. Stay with me. This is going to blow your mind. What they're doing is applying what Dr. Toltec calls an astral screen, and I've refined that a little bit, and I call it astral holographic technology. Now, David Icke talks about similar things about this, but all seem to agree that they can't, they have trouble getting to our realm, either A, because they can't physically, or B, because the energetic requirements of them coming into our realm are so great that it makes it very, very difficult for them to do so. And for terms of our discussion, the realm that aliens inhabit is called the astral. And since these incorporeal beings can't come from their realm to ours, they're forced to use one of two methods, and I want to show you what these methods are. Okay, as humans, we've got this unique ability. Due to the fact that we're created in the image of the Elohim, we can separate from our physical bodies and travel via our true spiritual and energetic nature into the astral realm. Astral projection, extra bodily, and if you don't think you can do it, give me 10 minutes and I'll put you 3 feet behind your own head. It's easy to learn. I think the aliens, or what we're calling the aliens in this term, these entities are maniacally jealous because they can't do it. Most of them. So what they have to do is, since they can't come into our world, they got to convince us that they have by pulling us into theirs. What are you talking about, Jeff? Well, it's actually very simple energetically. Anybody that has an understanding of shamanic practices, anybody that has an idea of energetic work can put themselves in somebody else's dream. It's really kind of child's play. It's like the great movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen Page. You can actually put yourself in someone's dream, and you can actually put scenarios into someone's dream that they think is very, very real. And people that aren't aware of this methodology, people aren't in general, and they've been so prepared by this sensory-rich environment, you know, these video games and the TV and the movies. So really they're pretty literal prey, or easy prey. And what Dr. Toltec says is that almost all of the alien appearances, alien abductions, and even things like child ritual sacrifice are mostly of the astral variety. They're not really happening in real physical time. Stay with me. And he also thinks that most UFO sightings that are not craft of terrestrial origin or hoaxes are explained by this. So, and you know, just a word about ritual abuse and sacrifice. We've been talking about that a lot. And it's my conviction and belief that for the most part, and this may be, there may be a resurgence in the real thing here lately, but for many years, ritual child abuse and sacrifice was occurring almost exclusively in the astral realm and not the physical realm. They weren't really raping children literally and physically. They weren't really, you know, sacrificing children literally and physically. But it seems like, as horrific as it is to talk about, there's been a return to the old ways. Because you can actually, and I've talked with these people, you can actually do these things on an astral realm in your astral body, and it becomes almost more satisfying because it's done with the pure, true, energetic essence of a person and not with just their physical shell. Now, here's how this works. Here's how this works. And there's a great story here, but I don't want to bore you with the story. What actually really happens is that the aliens will leverage your ability to go out of your body to it's so hard to explain. Let me just show you, let me just tell you this story. Let me tell you this story, and it'll explain what I'm trying to talk about. I was in Central America when I was a young pup evangelist, and we were preaching to this group of natives. You know, they had seen white guys before, but not very many of them. And we were preaching, and the last night came, and the witch doctor walks into the place where we're preaching, the hut. It was open on all sides with the roof. And he walks up, and he didn't speak English, but in perfect English, he says, "Your God has no power. I'm going to show you real power," because we were doing pretty good. People were getting saved. And then he lays down. He lays down on the floor, and he starts levitating. He got up 2-3 feet. I'm ready to rebuke him, and my buddy says, "No, don't do it." He was older, wiser. He got up to about 6 feet. My buddy finally turned to me and said, "Now." And I gave him the, in the name of Jesus thing, and he fell from 6 feet high, knocked the wind out of himself onto the ground when I rebuked him in the name of Jesus. He finally caught his breath, but he'd lost his English. All of them got saved, including that witch doctor. Now, I don't believe in good or evil anymore. I don't believe in angel demon theology, and I spent a lot of hours trying to figure out what the hell happened that night. And Dr. Toltec told me that it was astral holographic technology. And everybody that was there, it looked like it looked like that shaman really floated, and it looked like he was really floating while he was there. But he really didn't. We were made to believe that he did. An astral hologram is projected that details the scene that we all witnessed, and that's how the remarkable events took place. It's like if there was to be an alien invasion, that a projection, an astral projection, like an astral bubble, could be broadcast over a geographic area, and everybody could look up and see it. It's like with 9/11, this projection of planes going into a building is projected, and yet these two great big huge jets can crash into buildings, but not one piece of a plane that really was those planes is left. Look at Google airplane crashes and look at what they look like, and then there was none of that at 9/11. Because I think holographic technology was used in 9/11. But the same thing in that night in the jungle. This holographic projection was put out there. We were pulled into the astral, and that's why we saw what we thought we saw. And I asked Dr. Toltec, well, listen, how come I, in the name of Jesus, was able to cause the guy to fall? And what it was the force of my energetic impression. I could have been doing it in the name of Mickey Mouse, but it was my energetic impression, my energetic essence. And I know that bothers some of you. Well, I know Jesus is real because I cast out demons in the name of Jesus. So have I, but I know I could also cast out demons in the name of Mickey Mouse if I really believed and had the energetic intention that it worked. Now, in a very similar fashion, an alien invader or a rat bastard god, fallen god, could use the same type of a spiritual deception to set up, or even a human government could do it, to set up or advance their agenda. You could use a technological version of astral holographic technology to do the same thing. Either way, you could produce a spectacular, realistic, false flag event. So, you don't have to be a person that believes in UFO religion to be a person that can be affected by things that swirl around UFO religion. So even though we teeter on the outskirts of UFO religion by our belief in extraterrestrials and by our belief in unidentified flying objects and by our belief in the either pre-existent extraterrestrial civilization having part in founding our human civilization, or the belief that we'll someday go back to the stars, we almost fit the mold of UFO religions. We don't really all agree on who they are or where they're from or what they're doing. And it's important for us to realize that Just because you see a fleet of UFOs descending in the sky doesn't mean you're really seeing a fleet of UFOs descending in the sky. I'm telling you, they can't do it. They won't do it. They wouldn't bother. If they were going to come and blow this place up, you'd never even see them. They'd do it from orbit. So if you see this UFO invasion coming, know it's a deception. If you see a God-like figure coming, know it's a deception. Because the Christ said, my kingdom doesn't come with outward observation. There won't be any signs. He said this is what the Christ said, and I'm closing with this. He said the wicked seek for a sign. It's a wicked and an adulterous generation that seeks after signs. If you're looking out your window for signs of the second coming, if you're looking for the rapture, if you're looking for a blood moon, if you're looking for something or other, you've fallen into a wicked and adulterous mindset. Because the Christ said, there won't be any signs of my coming. And he said, because the kingdom of heaven, it's already right here in the human heart. Out of this world UFO religions, part 1. That was the hard part. That was the kind of scholastic learning knowledge part. As we get into the other parts, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And we're going to see a lot of the things that go into UFO religions. And it's going to allow us to do some self-introspection and some collective inspection of our attitudes and our activities to make sure we don't fall into this trap of being part of an out-of-this-world UFO religion. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Check out the Bill Cooper video we made earlier today. Keep your eye out for my appearances on other stations, channels, and radio shows. Copy and paste my little blurb in the bottom there about onto your social media to help grow this channel. And stay tuned for some big announcements about the future of the Jeff Daugherty Show Christian Whistleblower new cosmic knowledge operation. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, helping you unwind your mind and encouraging you to unindoctrinate yourself.